Oh, you gotta look. You gotta get your face in here so they can see you. Okay, or just that. So it is me and Theo. Let me turn this so you can see us. Okay, we are going to be answering the questions that you left in one of your Friday check-ins for us. And I was kind of sad I didn't have a lot of questions this time. Last semester I had like 75 questions. Maybe it's because some of you have had me before. I don't know. But I'm going to answer the questions. I've not looked at them yet. I took a picture of the form on my phone. So I'm just going to go through them and answer your questions. And if you had any questions for Theo, he'll answer them too. Where are you going? Where are you going? The people want to see you. All right, question number 1. How long did it take for you to become a teacher? So I got my undergraduate degree at UNC Charlotte, right, like as soon as I graduated high school, I went to UNC Charlotte, and I was one of those people that I took 5 years to get a bachelor's degree because, okay, you don't know what you want to do when you've never done anything before. So I really wasn't sure what I wanted to do, and I'll do a little story time about my journey to becoming a teacher later. But so it took me 5 years because I didn't declare a major until my junior year. What's your favorite food? Tacos. Hands down, tacos. I could eat 2 soft tacos with ground beef, cheese, and lettuce, rice, and beans every day for the rest of my life, and I would never, ever, ever get sick of it. Like our favorite Mexican restaurant, we have a waiter there that we are family with him. Like, that is our person right there. That's how often my husband and I go get tacos. What is your favorite show? Oh, that's a difficult one. I'm really picky about my TV. My friends and my husband tell me that I'm too picky about my TV, but here's my criteria. So, number 1, and I know this is an unpopular opinion, so I'm just going to go ahead and apologize right here, because I know people are going to be upset when I say this. British accents. I don't love them. So the shows that a lot of people watch, a lot of the British TV that's popular right now, I can't sign on to that. Also, I don't like any kind of romance or show that's supposed to make me cry. Like, I don't like being sad. I don't know why you would want to watch something that makes you sad. So I really like thriller, mystery. I also like a good docu-series. I can't name like one show that's just, love it. I'm coming back to that one. I'll come back to that one. How many years have you been teaching? I taught for 9 years at a school where it's the only school where I've ever taught. I actually did my student teaching there, and randomly the person that was my cooperating teacher, he left and went to another school the year that I was student teaching, so I took over his job, and I was there for 9 years. It's the school where me and my husband met. He's actually the athletic, big stretch. He is actually the athletic director there now. So I taught there for 9 years, and then this will be my 10th year teaching at Cleveland Innovation. What is your hometown? Dallas, North Carolina. What's your zodiac sign? Excuse me, sir. What's your zodiac sign? Myers-Briggs or Enneagram. My zodiac sign is a Pisces. I have no idea what that means. I don't really know anything about the zodiac. I wish y'all could see this right now. Theo is waving. Are you going to wave at the camera? Or are you just waving at me? Because I wasn't giving you enough attention. Okay, can I finish my video now? Thank you. So, I'm Pisces. Don't know what that means. My birthday is March 4th, if that means anything about zodiac stuff. I don't know Myers-Briggs, and I am an Enneagram 3, which the stuff I've read about 3s, I feel like it pretty much describes me. Sir, excuse me. What are you doing? What would you say your biggest regret is? Oh. Okay, something that I can think about kind of off the top of my head is I regret not being as involved in college. I lived on campus for 3 days because I'm an only child. I miss my parents, especially my mom. My mom's my best friend. And so my poor dad, he moved me in and out at UNC Charlotte in less than 3 days. So, and I'm not going to say that I wish I would have lived on campus, because I don't. I commuted all 5 years. But I do wish that I would have been more involved with like campus organizations and just making friends on campus, because I don't feel like I had a real college experience with finding those close friendships and like my people necessarily. So I do regret that. I also regret whenever I was in high school, I kind of let some of my friends dictate the person that I was, and it wasn't a person sometimes that I liked. I feel like I was unnecessarily, I don't want to use the word mean, because I don't feel like it was mean. I was unnecessarily cold to people because I let my friends dictate pieces of my personality, and that's something I do really regret that. But I think that's just something that as you get older and you grow, you come into who you really are, and we all can look back and say, oh my gosh, I wish I wouldn't have done that, or I wish I would have handled that differently. I wish I would have acted differently. So, but those are the two off the top of my head that I can think of as regrets that stand out. What did you like most about Puerto Rico? So I told one of my students who's from Puerto Rico that my husband and I went to Puerto Rico a couple years ago. We loved it. Oh, the one thing I did not love about it was I didn't realize we were flying in right after, well, not right after, probably a couple months after a big hurricane had hit. So there was no, or very little, electricity in the airport. It was so hot, muy caliente, and there weren't any places to plug in anything to charge. So they were selling power banks. It was really strange, but Puerto Rico is absolutely beautiful. I love the history. I love the culture. I learned so much about Puerto Rico whenever I was there that I did not previously know. If you don't know, look this up. There actually a ton of our pharmaceuticals supplies, our medicines are manufactured in Puerto Rico. So I'm going to say the history, I was very interested in the history. We did a couple of historic tours while we were there. And just how could you not think that Puerto Rico is absolutely beautiful? What made you become a teacher? And in light of the past year, do you still like that, or do you wish you were doing something different? Ooh, good one. Okay, quick story time, and then I'm going to answer the second part of that question. What made me become a teacher? I never, ever, ever wanted to become a teacher, y'all. Did not. Like I said earlier, it's very hard to know what you want to do when you've never done anything before. I was an all-star cheerleading coach whenever I was in high school, and I did all-star cheer. So that's really the only work experience that I had. That's really the only work experience that I had, so I didn't necessarily know what area I wanted to go into in college. The only thing I knew for sure is that I did not want to go into the medical field. Still to this day, I can barely put on my own Band-Aid. There's absolutely no way I'm going into the medical field. So I got to college. I was in my third year, like I said earlier, and I've always really enjoyed writing. I love to write, did not love to read until 11th grade English, whenever I had an English teacher that just changed everything for me. Nancy McDaniel, if you're watching this, I love you, and you are like the real GOAT. So anyway, I decided to become an English major because I love to write, and I thought I wanted to be a writer. At that time, I didn't really know a lot about journalism, because I feel like if I would have known that was an option, I would have probably gone into journalism. But my parents always told me, rightfully so, I totally respect this, that if they were paying for my school, then they wanted me to get a degree that was useful. So even if I never used it, they wanted to pay for a degree that would be a good backup plan. So I said, well, as an English major, what is the minor that I can do that will be a useful degree, and that was teaching. I do not do well with small children, so therefore I thought, oh, I'll teach high school and we'll just talk about good books all day. Long story short, I ended up in a school where I thought I would never be for my student teaching. I went to a private Christian school from kindergarten through 12th grade. I had never been in public school ever before, ever. I landed in an inner city high school for my student teaching job, and I absolutely, even though it was culture shock, it was complete culture shock. I called my mom the first day and I was like, oh my gosh, people are using bad words here. Like, I didn't even know you could do that. When I was in school, never heard a bad word, never even heard anybody breathe wrong about a teacher, like didn't know fights were a thing, didn't know drugs happen unless it was in the movies. I had no clue. So went to this inner city school, and I just absolutely fell in love with the kids and their stories. I love stories and I love people, and those kids absolutely, like, I still remember all of the kids by name, still keep up with most of them from almost 10 years ago, my student teaching experience. While I was there, I tried to like really fight it that I did not want to be a teacher. Y'all know the stuff that goes on with being a teacher is just, it's a lot. So I tried to fight that. I was like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I finished my student teaching. I graduated UNC Charlotte, and I actually did a semester, well, yeah, I guess a summer semester at UNC Greensboro in their master's program for library science. I was like, I love books, but I don't know if I want to be a teacher. That program was horrible and not at all what I thought it was going to be. Really? Are you bringing... Sir, I'm trying to record a video, sir. Okay, come here. That program was not at all what I thought it was going to be, and throughout my student teaching, I just met so many kids that I wondered what was going on with them, like what was happening with them, what were they doing. I wanted to keep up with them, wanted to keep up with their story, especially this one student that became like my child, and I'm trying to have an intelligent conversation. Can I have this? Okay, thank you. This one student that became like my child, I just wondered what was going on. This is absolutely insane. The teacher that was my cooperating teacher, he had been there for almost 14 years, and he randomly took another job at a different school and was like, hey, do you want my job? I was like, okay, now these kids have to tell me what's going on in their lives and I can keep up with them. So I took the job. Best decision I've ever made. Not saying it wasn't one of the hardest decisions I've ever made, but it was fantastic. Now, to answer the second part of your question, would I still be a teacher? I'm going to be really honest here. The first 5 years of my teaching career were wonderful. They were challenging, but they were wonderful. I don't know how to describe it. There were still difficulties. There was still hardship. There was still nerves, anxiety. But the last 3 or 4 years as an educator have been very difficult for me. I went through like a kind of a traumatic experience at my school a few years ago. Decided to stick it out, and then COVID hit. And the kids can't help COVID. However, the things that are put on teachers during the school shutdown time, I realized how teaching English was a small portion of what I was doing. I was playing doctor, nurse, psychiatrist, therapist, counselor, mom, dad. Like, there was just so much going on that these kids needed, and I don't feel like I had the training to fulfill that role for them. Several of my students have needed support that I literally don't know how to give. I would want to remain in education. I'll say it that way. I think my PhD program that I'm working on now is going to help me do that. I never thought I would say this, but I'm very interested in policy. So I'm interested in making some changes in schools that I feel like will help students. So I do think we're at a time where education is evolving and shifting. Answering that question is so difficult because there's so many factors that go into it. Okay, that was a very long answer, and sorry about that. I can get wordy sometimes. Next question. Where were you born and what made you want to become a teacher? I was born in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I feel like I already answered that. What is your favorite season? I'm stuck between fall and winter. Y'all, I absolutely hate to be sweaty. I hate it. If I'm working out, it's fine. But if I'm outside and I'm sweating, I cannot stand that. So summer's marked off the list for me. I do not like that. I also really hate bugs, and there's a lot of bugs in the summer, so I'm marking that off. And I hate storms, and storms in the summer, so no. I really like the crispiness of fall, but around here, it's still so hot in the fall. So maybe winter, I don't know. I just like cool, crisp weather. I don't like ice, don't really love snow, but I do like a good crisp weather where you're not going to sweat outside. What is your favorite book and why? So my favorite book is The Kite Runner by Khalid Hosseini. I've read The Kite Runner so many times. It's one of my favorite books to read and to teach. I think I like it so much, first of all, because I love his writing style. I love some good figurative language and symbolism. And another thing I like about the book is something that I always try to tell people, especially young people, is one decision can change your life forever. Even in ways you may not realize at the time, even if it comes back 20 years down the road. And I always want my students to be mindful that really one decision can change everything, whether it be a good change or a bad change. And there is not another book out there that I've read that really conveys that point as strongly as The Kite Runner does. There are also 2 twists in that book that made me audibly gasp. So, Kite Runner. What is your favorite punctuation mark? Ooh. Oh, that's a good one. I like a good semicolon because I think it spices up writing. And I had a child ask me one time, and it just makes me laugh. He came to me and said, "Miss Gates, what is the dot J?" And I was like, "Dot J?" He said, "Yeah, this dot J you told me to use." I was like, "I don't know what you're speaking of, child." And he showed me, and it was a semicolon. And he had never heard of that punctuation mark before. So that always makes me laugh. I'm probably going to choose a semicolon. If you did not choose teaching, what career path would you have wanted to pursue? Ooh. So I mentioned earlier how I love writing and I want to do something in writing. So I'm going to say journalism. Also, knowing what I know now, I'm interested in marketing. And so I've always... Y'all are going to be like, what is wrong with her? I've always wanted to be a private detective, but you can't be a private detective unless you have, like, it's crazy, thousands of hours in police work, and I don't want to be a cop. So I'm probably going to stick with journalism or marketing. What music do you like, and what is your favorite movie? Fun fact about me is I don't listen to a lot of music. I don't know. I mean, if I had to pick, I love 90s hip hop. I always have. The only kind of music that just really grinds my gears that I don't like is I don't like the screamo kind of stuff. Oh, don't like that. Like I said, I'm just not a big music person. What is your favorite movie? I have no idea. I honestly don't. I don't think I have a favorite. If you had to get an exotic pet, what would you get? Tiger. It's a tiger, because Princess Jasmine is my favorite Disney princess. She's got the best hair, the best clothes, and a tiger is a pet. So I'm going with tiger. What is your least favorite food? I don't know if I have a least favorite, but a surprising fact about me that most people don't know, or I don't know. I don't like fruit. Literally, there's no fruit that I like. I have never eaten it. I don't enjoy it. That's probably a weird food that y'all wouldn't think somebody would pick as not liking, but I really don't like fruit. Why did you choose to teach English? I feel like I already answered that in my other questions. Also because I'm not a math girl. That is the devil's language. I don't understand it. I try very, very, very hard to understand it. A lot of confidence. Like when I'm doing the problem, I'm thinking, yes, I got this. It's never right. So I could not teach anything else besides English. If you had the chance, would you rather go to the moon or to the core of the earth? I don't want to go to either one, but if I had to choose, I'm saying moon because I feel like the core of the earth would be very hot. I don't like to be hot. How was college for you? So college was a very different experience for me. I love college now, and I love my master's program. I love my PhD program, but my undergraduate experience was very different from other people's. I just was never interested in like the college lifestyle. I don't know, I felt like I had a hard time fitting in as an undergraduate because I didn't ever really find like my group of people. You see a lot of people so anxious and so excited to get out of the house, get away from their parents, to start living their own life, to be on their own, and that was not me at all. And I'm not a partier. I'm not, like, I go to bed, it's a wild night if I go to bed past 10 p.m. So the things that I was learning, I really enjoyed. I especially enjoyed my master's program and my PhD program because I'm around such like-minded people. We're all interested in the same thing. And your undergraduate classes, you know, you all have to take the same general education kind of stuff. So I love the learning process. I loved my school. I loved going to campus and my teachers, but I don't feel like I had a great undergraduate experience. But again, first of all, that's on me because life is what you make it. College is what you make it, and I didn't make it a good experience. I let a lot of my anxiety hold me back, and that's a regret. Also, it all depends on the school that you're going to. So you need to really do your research and only apply to schools that you really could see yourself going to. Not just, oh, I'm going to apply to this school because it'll look good if I get in, or I'll feel good if I get into this school. Like, actually look at the schools and see if it's somewhere that you could imagine yourself being. Go spend some time on campus. Okay, I'm going to jump off my soapbox about that. Are you more of a cat or a dog person? So I was terrified of dogs, literally would cry when a dog got around me until I met this angel baby right here. So I'm going to say most of my life I've been a cat person. I love cats. We've always had cats. I feel like I'm kind of in the middle. I'm a cat person and I'm a dog person. What can I do to get better with reading and comprehending? Oh, that's a good question. So I know a lot of people, they don't really want to take the time to do this, but I'm going to say for me, whenever I learned how to take notes in a way that worked for me, it was very helpful. You also have to practice your reading. It's something that you get better at and quicker the more you do. I'll say this also. So there are certain things that I do before I actually ever read a passage or an article or whatever to kind of prepare myself for it. I read the title, and in my mind I'm like, okay, looking at this title, what do I think this is going to be about? What do I think the tone of this is going to be? I also always read the subheadings and all that. But as a person now, like, we're reading thousands of pages each week for my PhD program. There's a certain way of taking notes that works for me. I don't want you to think that note taking has to be extensive or long, but you need to find something that works for you so that as you're keeping up with your classes and as you probably go into college courses, you know what's going to work for you to help you understand texts. And I can do another video about note taking if you feel like that would be helpful, but I think it's very personal to each person what their note-taking style is, and reading to me is just like math. Like, I had a statistics class last semester and I was upset all the time because I just could not get it. the more I practiced it, the better I got. I didn't like to practice it because I didn't feel like I was good at it. But I'm really thankful for that struggle, because now I know how reading and writing makes some of you guys feel that maybe reading and writing isn't your favorite or you struggle with it. So I'm glad that I had that struggle in math, because now I can relate more so to you and your struggles with reading and writing. So I'm thinking that I might do another video on note-taking styles and just kind of talking about what works for you with reading comprehension. All right, those were all my questions that were sent in, and you'll have an opportunity to ask more questions. But until then, I'll see you guys on Google Meets. Theo probably will too. He's gone to sleep. Okay, love y'all. Have a great day.